creators have to benefit. They invest a lot of money. What to follow during election guidelines.
Tukwaniriza ku Mbale Express TV olunaku olwaleero waliwo ekintu kyenjagala tuyigirizeemu nga tuyita mu bakugu baffe abasodo kubanga ate batusomesa olunaku olwaleero. Oba oli content creator, film maker, gwentegeeza, oli muyimbi, oli wa social media, waliwo ekintu kyetaaga okubanga atoyiga olunaku olwaleero. Tuba n'ebintu bingi kuba omuntu nga content creator aba copyright owner. Era omuntu oyo alina eddembe okubanga ate afunamu ekyo kyaba ayiyiza ekiyiye kyaba ayiyizaawo n'okuba nti waliwo kye bayita fair use, nti omuntu waba akozesezza ekintu kyo at least somehow oba olina engeri gy'osobola okubanga ate okifunamu. So olunaku olwaleero twagala tukutuuseeko ebintu bino. Oyinza okuba obadde obimanyi, oyinza okuba obadde tobimanyi, naye weetaaga obirabe ku Mbale Express TV.
For those who have online content and do video, and the content creators, now I'm speaking to the content creators, make sure that your content is classified by the Media Council. I hope you have heard of the Media Council. Yeah. Media Council is the only council allowed to give ratings to your content, whether it is PG, 12 years, 13 years, 14, 18, they are the body that is allowed to do that. Any content that you put out must have that classification. And very soon, as you hear in the next presentation about content, we shall be having the film festival. Those who want to submit their content, it must be classified. Are we okay, content creators? It seems that you are not agreeing, but that's what it is. You'll have to classify your content. Other standards, one of the standards is religious. I'm sure there are many religious radios around. Now, there are those people who pit one religion against the other. You call them in the studio, and now you start debating, competing to know which one is the better religion. Do you have such programming in Mbale? In Eastern?
They're on the streets.
They are on the streets?
Yeah.
If they are on the streets, let them stay on the street. But once you put them on the radio, or the TV, or your content, that is something different. There is no religion that is better than another religion. It's that each one is free to worship in the religion. You've had our morning prayer. It came from our mama here, the morning prayer. But we are all serving the same God in different, maybe different languages. Yes, so make sure that you don't attack another person's religion. If you want to do that, do it in your own bedroom or in your own church. But also when the police find you, they'll ask you why you are doing that. Please make sure religions will live peacefully. And the content you put, even if you are an Islamic radio, like IU, that content is listened to by everyone, Muslim or non-Muslim. If you are Christian, it's listened to by Christian and non-Christian. Make sure that your content is developmental. Make sure that your content fosters unity between the religion. That's why we have the interreligious council, because we all agree that we are supposed to work together. You people advertise here. We have a group of radios that have specialized in advertising like 3 or 4 products. The first product that they advertise is everybody's quiet. Because you know the product. Some are going to say it improves that one. But do you believe in it? We have NDA, they all have a presentation about it. But that kind of advertisement that deceives people is not allowed. Some of you advertise herbalists. Herbalists are okay, but we know what a herbalist is. I don't know how the herbalists are called this side. Herbalists where somebody goes and picks a herb. I think in Uganda some call it mululuza. Those people give even dosage. Those are what we call herbalists. And most of our senior citizens, either their fathers or their grandfathers, have done that when the hospital facilities were limited. Those were good people and they are still good people. But they must be registered with NDA. NDA here. Before they come to advertise, they must have certification from NDA. NDA will have a whole discussion about it. Now, we have other people who will tell you, go under your bed with 2 eggs, clap your hands, face east or west, you'll have 200 million. That is the first bit. The same people will also tell you, the radios now, they have people who call in to testify that they did that and got the money. Now my question to you broadcasters, do you believe in that? Broadcasters, do you believe in that? No, broadcasters, let's have an engagement. Do you believe in that? No. Then why do you do it? Now, the person who has come to do that on your radio, go and see where he sleeps. He's giving you wealth, by the way. He's saying, if you do this, if you take this herb, you'll have the whole Republic Street property. But go and see where he stays. Do you think he doesn't want that wealth himself? Let us protect our grandmothers. Let us protect our grandfathers. Conmen have become conmen. They start saying, when he tells you that, it's like, you first send 15,000. First send 5,000. Okay, if you are going to give me 5 million, why don't you deduct the 5,000 from the 5 million you are going to give me? Why do you want me to send you 10,000 so that you give me 5 million? Let's do the calculation. How much am I supposed to give you? 20,000. How much are you going to give me? 5 million. Deduct and then you give me the balance. But you tell you, no, first send it to my mobile money. Others will tell you, by the way, don't send on this number, send on the other number. This number is not functioning. Please. Those are conmen. And the conmen are not allowed. I'm sure RDCs, you must have gotten a lot of complaints from the public. Please, those are conmen. And once we get you a radio, first and foremost, you have to be responsible. If those people have their services, they are free to be consulted in their houses. Nobody, that is freedom of worship now, if you follow where it is. But when you put it on air, please, that's not acceptable. Watching the live electoral process, and most of you love carrying live broadcasts. But before you carry live broadcasts, you are supposed to have adequate facilities. We have one we call a pre-listening. It helps you to see what somebody is going, because sometimes you host these brothers and sisters, and they are human beings. Sometimes they get emotional. The topic is hot, he gets emotional, he wants what he wants, the other panelist also wants what he wants, and some words that are not good can start coming out. So what you do as an editor, you're supposed to have that device that takes away the bad words so that the people do not listen. All these media stations you see, there are always things that happen behind the camera, but you never see them. They see. So you must have these devices that will help you to do content. Now, a big discussion here. I want us, all of us, to be honest to each other. Government, airtime. Broadcasters, let us repeat. Government, airtime. Not RDC, airtime. I want us to get the difference. Let's start. Broadcasters, government, airtime. Government airtime, not RDC. Let me distinguish. Every broadcaster is required to offer 1 hour per week for government projects, to popularize government projects. 1 hour per week. Now, that 1 hour has been entrusted and is supervised by the RCC or RDC. Is the one who coordinates and supervises. Are we together? Some of you broadcasters have now termed it RDC airtime. If you want to call it that way, call it Office of the RDC airtime. Because if the RDC is sick, you not go and drag him from his hospital bed and say, this is your airtime. He will have the deputy, he will have other people under him or her who will come to popularize government programs. Are we together? My brothers, RDCs and RCCs, are we together? Yes. Now, the question to the broadcasters, is that airtime being used properly or not? Broadcasters, is it being used properly or not? No. It's not being used. Okay. The question will be how and why, which we shall answer. But I can start by saying, for instance, if I invite the RDC of Manafa to come and address people about heavy rains and the possible impact and the landslides. Possibly the RDC is not an environmentalist, right? He has no expertise. If you invite the RDC possibly to talk about corruption in Boko, he's not the expert. What he will do, he will consult the relevant office. He says, I have this 1 hour, we are going to talk about corruption. So he will go to the office of the IG. I say, I have 1 hour, I need to talk about this. Can you escort me as the technocrat? That is allowed. Are we together? Because he's not the technocrat. For him, he's there to supervise. If he's the technocrat, well and good. But we have had reports where you broadcasters say only RDC is allowed. But RDC is not all knowing. Even us who are in offices, you find our executive director has the other directors who help. So that is how it's supposed to be handled. My brothers, there is a complaint that it's not being used properly. They claim, the broadcasters claim, that there are those other institutions that have budgets, but they tag along you and want to do what? To use that 1 hour, and after they demand for receipts. That is a complaint. I'm giving you the complaint from the broadcasters. Now, think about it. As we engage later, we shall have reactions to it. Right? Think about that query, we shall have some reactions. Also, RDCs have queries against you broadcasters. They also have their concerns. So once we open up the discussion, we shall discuss it at length.